Hi guys. Now we will be introduced to a character whom Sitaram Goel repeatedly refers to as his American journalist friend. So we learn here how he got introduced to him, some of his opinions, and we end the video with a hilarious letter by Ramswarup. A few days before the riots broke out in August 1946, I had run into an American journalist who was the bureau manager of a prestigious US news agency in Calcutta. He banged the table and made our coffee cups fly when I observed that Truman was a criminal who should be hanged for dropping that atom bomb on Hiroshima. I thought that was the end of our acquaintance. But he rang me up a few days later and explained that he should have tried to understand the Asian point of view on the matter. We met again and again and became friends. He was at that time what the Americans call a liberal and we in India a leftist. It was he who first took me to the Communist Party bookstall in Decker's Lane in Calcutta. He thought that they published some good literature and that their weekly in English was a very well-edited tabloid. He was also a good friend of Mr. Gilani, the editor of the Muslim League Daily, Morning News, who later wrote often in the RSS Weekly, Organizer. But he had no friend who could explain to him the Hindu point of view. He had toured the whole of Calcutta during the August riots. He thought that the Muslims had suffered far more than the Hindus. Later on, he visited Noakhali. His impression was that the situation was not so bad as the Hindus were painting it. One day, he met me soon after he had attended a debate on Noakhali in the Bengal Legislative Assembly. He was very angry with Dr. Shyama Mukherjee and other Hindu leaders for their making so much of the Hindus in Noakhali being forced to eat beef. "What is so awful about eating beef?" he asked me. I had no opinion on the subject, but I readily joined him in ridiculing that pot-bellied demagogue, Dr. Mukherjee. Sometime later, this friend moved to Delhi and met Ramswarup. I promptly received a letter from Ramswarup saying that I had made quite a Muslim leaguer out of our American friend, but I did not take the hint. My personal fortunes changed for the better when I joined as manager for another concern. The salary was much better, but what mattered to me most was that my new boss, a young Marwari of my own age, was a convinced communist. He was a very well-read man and had a well-stocked personal library from which I could borrow whatever I wanted. He was also a subscriber to many foreign journals which towed the international communist line. I remember how I gulped down large doses of communism as I read the American periodicals, New Masses and New Republic week after week. I had given the good news about my new job and my new boss to my American friend on the eve of his departure from Calcutta. A few days later, I received a letter from Ramswarup which said, "I learned that your boss is a communist. It is like hearing that a Buddhist made a war, but it seems that the ordinary man is wiser than Marx and Lord Buddha. He will never give to them anything except his subjective loyalty." But once again, I failed to take the hint.